Japan is known as being a very safe country, but is it really true? What about other places? What about New York City, where people in Japan say, New York's scary, there's people with guns, you're gonna get shot, you get robbed.
Yeah.
How true is that? Now, recently, Adam, you mentioned that someone asked you about Japan. Is it really that safe?
It was actually around last Saturday, I believe. It was in the cafeteria at my work, and I was sitting down, and one of the guys came up to me and he said, "Is Japan really that safe? Somebody told me it's like one of the safest places in the world, but I find it hard to believe." And I was like, yeah, I could leave my backpack, laptop on a table in a cafe and go to the washroom and come back 10 minutes later, and it would still be there.
You could leave like say on that table.
Yeah.
That the wind would blow it off the table, and someone would pick it up, put it back on, and put something down to hold it down.
Yes, sir.
It is that safe. Now, of course, it's not, not everywhere is safe.
Right, yeah.
There's always bad apples in the bunch. Recently in Japan, maybe some people have seen it. There was a daytime robbery in Ginza at some
jewelry store, watch shop.
Yeah. Some kids went in there with masks and just stole a bunch of stuff broad daylight, which I've seen sometimes, scrolling through social media videos of people doing that at like Apple stores, at Mac stores, like going in and they just start ripping everything off the tables and whatnot. So it happened in Japan. People were in shock. Like, it had me thinking like, of course, Japan is just like everywhere else. With how many times Japanese people asking like, is America, does everyone have guns, really? There's a lot of crime, right? Like, New York City, I've heard it's dangerous. Now, generations, we've gotten, I think, a little better. Maybe back in like 70s, 80s, I know New York was like pretty bad. I personally have never seen any kind of crime or robbery happen in front of me. I wonder, like, how true is it? Like, in Canada, Adam, like, have you seen with your own eyes, like, any kind of like robbery? Do you feel it's dangerous?
I don't feel it's dangerous. I know there's certain things that I shouldn't do, like, leave my bag in an open public place and walk away from it, because they tell you not to do that. But just like robberies or, I don't know, shootouts or like things that happen in broad daylight, gang violence, people fighting and all that stuff.
Yep.
It's all stuff that I hear on the news, not every day, some days, sometimes. And when I hear it, it's kind of like shocking, but not shocking. It's like, oh, really? But then you're like, I guess so. Like that area, when you hear the area, it's like, okay, that area is kind of known for bad things.
I mean, there's things that can be very disturbing types of news that we see here in Japan too. There's like murders and stuff. Every once in a while, like I'll hear about information in town saying like, oh, hey, at this park where a lot of kids go to, there's been some ayashi, like suspicious person. Like talking to kids or like just walking around the grounds.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, what? That's, kind of creepy, scary to think about. Like, it's not so much involved with a crime of like violent crime that I think a lot of people think about when they think of, crime America general, being dangerous place, and that in that kind of sense, dangerous. But
I think that's my image or impression of like dangerous too, is like it's like crime, people getting murdered and killed and like robbed, what I mean, but not the little things where it's like it's just like a matter of safety, living a normal life in a certain place, which in Japan there's sometimes you don't feel that safe as well. So but overall I feel for sure people that have more confidence in humanity in Japan and will look out for other people a little more, that's the one thing that I said to the person who asked me about safety, is that people respect each other. I feel a lot more in Japan than in any other place where there's more crime. It's just a matter of respect. Like if something's not yours, you don't take it. You don't want something, like we always say, like if you don't want it to happen to you, don't do it to other people. I think that idea is in the Japanese person's heart. Overall. In general,
majority of people
of people
like
will
follow that.
I don't want somebody to do that to me. so I'm not going to do it to anybody else. I'm not going to, move this person's towel on the table if he's going to sit here because I want to sit here. Because if I did that, I don't want anyone to do that to me.
Right.
So I'm not going to do that.
Exactly.
That's Japan. That's what I really admire about Japan. And I think many people need to experience in the world.
Yeah.
Take that back to their countries and practice it.
Right. No, again, and like, there's plenty of good, wholesome people around the world too. Like, there's that kind of viral video a while back where people on YouTube were like doing the drop the wallet. How safe is it if you drop your wallet in public? Will the people behind you say something or not? And pretty much everyone would say something,
Yeah.
And again, I think it goes to like the whole situation, where it's happening, where you are. And of course, for the most part, I believe that there's a higher percentage of these things being returned, a better outlook for that situation in Japan.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Compared to Western countries. But it's like, I never really felt like, like America is dangerous, or like, New York, when I go there, it's like, oh, dangerous, oh, watch out. Like, it's I don't know how you say it. Oh, okay, maybe
it's like I'm just like thinking, because we grew up here, right? So
yes.
Our tolerance for danger is stronger.
Higher. Yeah.
It's higher, so we don't put ourselves in a place where we know it's going to be dangerous, or a situation where we know something bad is going to happen. Like I was saying earlier, like I wouldn't leave my backpack on the table because I know it's going to get stolen.
Yeah.
I wouldn't leave my bicycle unlocked because I know it's going to get stolen. So by not doing something recklessly, or like putting my place in a position of danger, I take it away and I don't feel it.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where it comes from. Like, I don't feel it's dangerous because I don't put myself in a position of danger.
Right.
And then in Japan, I don't feel it's dangerous because it's just not dangerous in general. Like, I could put myself in a position of danger. Like, I could lay on the sidewalk, put all of my money around me and my credit cards and my wallet, and go to sleep on purpose.
Yeah.
And I'll wake up and it'll be back in a bundle in my wallet, and someone will put it next to me.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Right. So I guess there's kind of like a fine line with danger and like safety in Japan.
Yeah.
Where they kind of like, I feel like we think a lot about safety.
Right. Yeah.
More than danger. So it's like in the US, a lot of people are strong individuals.
True.
So in this case of, you're mentioning before, if you put your bag down to save a spot for a table, North America, there might be someone who's just like, there's nobody here, there's a bag there, I'm going to move that bag, right?
Yeah.
So they take it, they move it off, and then here's the person coming back saying like, hey, you just moved my thing. That was, I was saving it. And the person's like, well, you can't save it with just, there's a bit of an attitude that can be a conflict that comes quickly in North America.
Yeah.
Right. And that situation like is avoided at all costs in Japan.
Yeah.
It can happen. For the most part, it's avoided because everyone's like, just no, like, because there's no need for it. And at the end of it, there isn't a need for conflict. There isn't a need to be a jerk and to move the thing, or to be aggressive about if somebody moved it, So it's interesting to think about like how much of it is like, some people would say like, oh, that's being like weak, or it's being like overly, too strong and aggressive.
Yeah. Passive, overly passive as well. Like,
right.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know what's better, but looking at it overall, living in the States, living in Japan, the feeling to be comfortable, to have this safety around in Japan, I feel is better than having to kind of like watch over your back and make sure everything's locked all the time.
Yeah. Although at the same time, you do want to be careful.
Right.
On both sides, because you never know. It's like there are people everywhere who are, like, as you said, aggressive, or are like, not considerate. So at the same time, you don't want to leave yourself open wide open just to be attacked by someone who is going to take advantage of that situation. You know,
Adam, order there, order. Yeah.
MJ, そうだよ.
Be careful, everyone.
手伝ってくれ.
So safe, dangerous. Oh, where do we find the correct answer? But in reality, you know, I feel like an experience to go out into a country, you shouldn't be held back. If you really want to go to somewhere and just say like, oh, maybe it's dangerous. I've heard it's dangerous. There's crime or something. For the most part, I think you might be okay. Just use those street smarts.
Oh, yeah.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel for more talks like this.
Yep, but that's it. We'll see you on the next step.